Hello there. Just make a lot of discoveries with reading about the Bible and the archaeology of the Bible. So I found a book. It's called. I need to give a reference to it. The Biblical World. The Biblical World by Jean something. It's a very complete book that has 300 pages that goes through all the stories of the Bible and from Genesis to I think the New Testament. So, and we get the not only one version of the story, but as well other texts that were discovered around the same time from other peoples, and we get a better picture. Is there records that confirm that the events of the Bible really took place, and what they discovered that there are a lot of stories in the Bible that are imported from stories that were written previously from Egyptian and Mesopotamia culture. So a lot of it is amalgamation, but they don't tell you what to think. They don't tell you to believe it or not. They just show the archaeological facts. There's a text that was written by this people, and this is what it says. Let's see if there's anything that is confirming the Bible truth. And for me, my personal opinion is that just like the Greeks, I said it in another video, just like the Greeks have been conquered by Rome, the Roman mythology has become the Greek mythology. The cultural exchanges, the stories that were in the peoples there, they are exchanged by a new name and a new nationality. So just one generation before Moses, there was King Tutankhamun. Before that, At, the one that started the monotheism, was Egyptian Pharaoh. And it was only one thing, that there is one God, and that is the God of the sun. And soon after, I guess what I'm thinking is the people that are actually that wrote the Bible that we know have wrote it. These are scribes that were knowing of Egyptian stories. They were knowing of Sumerian stories. They were knowing of the big civilizations of the time and of the past that they had in their mind. They wrote the Bible with those stories in mind, and they changed the names of the peoples, the heroes. For example, Sargon was one of the Akkadian great emperors, the first great emperor. There's a myth about him being found in a basket, saved by the water god. This is the myth that has been imported towards a Hebrew that was raised by the Egyptians, Moses, which is one of the top figures of Christianity and the Bible, one of the main heroes. Um, but there's no record of him ever existing. The tomb, there's no tomb of him. Uh, However, we can see that Ramses II, which is according with that time, and the Bible says that Ramses was sank down in the bottom of the Red Sea. But the facts are, it's proving that Ramses is actually been mummified. He died at 90 years old, and he was mummified, and he was now he's in the Museum of Cairo. So he was not under the water. So this type of proof that we can get from another source that confirms if the Bible's what is said is true. There is no evidence of archaeological findings that show that some million and a half Israelites were camping in the desert. First of all, they were slaves, and they never had that no knowledge of how to survive in the desert, because the desert of Sinai is one of the most hostile places in the world, and they have to do 500 kilometers of walking in there, and not to find Moses should have done that when he escaped Goshen to get to Jethro. That's a 500-kilometer walk and through the desert. So it's surprising how he found his way on his own for months of walking without food or knowing water. So but the Bible is not just one source. It has a lot of different stories that are connected together, and sometimes that's why it's contradicting each other as well. So uh, and so to me the most plausible scenario is that, first of all, the Bible was not one of the most oldest books. It was written when humanity was very developed. It was not at the early creation and after. And the stories that we hear are stories that come from Egyptian and Sumerian culture. But the names and the nationalities of the people have been changed. I personally have seen it myself in my life that when you have a narrative, say, I think that I want to save homeless people by giving an example of having gone through all these hardships that they've gone through. And to me, in my head, I was actually trying to follow Moses' example, that he decides to go with the slaves to liberate them or help them. But the people in particular, that are I'm trying to help, they don't want my help. They only see me as one of those white people that have been privileged or something. They say that's the difference between me and you. You have had education, you had more opportunities, and I never had that. So then they know they don't want to understand that what I've lived through is similar to them. They don't. They think that their experience is completely different. So in the face of developing a style and having that style copied by the bigger culture, and having those stories told or those images told by other people, them taking credit and putting down, being very critical about or ignoring, saying that I could have never come up with those type of ideas because I'm just nobody, and my ancestors are nobodies, and there's no way that I could have thought of something original. Uh, just to discredit. So I think the Bible does something similar with the people that it's criticizing. It's just like in that time, the common thing was to make a victory style and say that our enemies have been vanquished, we have won, we've conquered them, we are so much stronger than them. Never would they admit defeat in their writing. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you. The book is The Biblical World by Jean something.